The emotional alchemy. You felt it, right? The punch in your gut. The sting. The questions running in your head without answers. The unsolved patterns running in your head 2 a.m. in the morning. And yes, Isaac, it does hurt. Yes, it doesn't make sense. And here is the thing, Isaac. You didn't actually numb it with distractions. You faced it. You felt it. You listened to it. And that is what changes you. That is what opens the doors for a better version of yourself. You never ran away from that pain. You only did what, Isaac? You did the one thing that only a disciplined and a man who has clarity can do. You turn that pain into power. And that is the emotional alchemy. Taking what was meant to break you and turning it into fueling it in yourself. And that is what actually rebuilds you and makes you strong. But what do most men do? They try to suppress it. They act as if they are just fine. They try to chase the temporary highs, whereby they think that if I distract myself with something else, it will numb the pain. And here is the thing, Isaac. A stoic man doesn't avoid. He channels every ounce of that heartbreak into growth, into his craft, into his mind. Pain becomes pressure. And now, Isaac, pressure, that is what forges steel. That is what makes you a better version of yourself that you never knew really existed. That is what changes you, and it takes you to a very unique, different level, and you start seeing things differently. For people only value what they cannot control. When you control your own emotions, Isaac, when you master them, you stop being predictable. You don't plead. You don't collapse. You stop being hard to control. You actually, Isaac, become dangerous in the most focused, calm way, whereby you are in control of your own emotions, but at the same time, you are so calm, you are so strong, and you are always in control. She thought that the heartbreak, Isaac, will break you. But it sharpened you. It turned you into a very different, unique person that his personality can never be predictable. You are not bitter. You are not numb. You are just transformed and totally different from other people. And that, Isaac, that is the power. The master of frame. At first, she disrespected you subtly. A little disrespect here, a little withdrawal there. She wanted to know how far she could push, how much you would actually bend. But most men, they don't actually notice it. Or worse, they do notice, but they tolerate it. Thinking that if I'm just patient, I'm just calm, I just try to understand, I just give her time, she will come back. But to you, Isaac, to you, you are different. You will remain unshaken, and you will not expect her to come back around. You remain unshaken, you remain unmoved, and you remain unapologetically you, without trying to show that they must understand who you are. She can't understand who you are. And who you are, Isaac, is just who you are. And that right there, Isaac, that is the power. Your frame, it is the mental game that Isaac you stand on. It's how Isaac you see the world. It's how you respond to chaos. And it's how you set the tone in every interaction. And when you master your own frame, Isaac, nothing she can do can shake you, can change you. And that is where the power dynamic flips. For the fact is, you can't actually manipulate a man who can't flinch. She can't guilt, shame, or provoke someone who simply doesn't hand over the wheel. You can only provoke someone if they completely hand over the wheel. Isaac, always stand on principles and not on feelings. When she realizes that her tactics don't affect you, when she sees that your energy stays the same, whether she's hot or cold, her respect starts growing where control used to live in. Where she thought she had control and maybe she had the power over you, the respect will grow. The control will be replaced by respect. And that, Isaac, that is when you have the power. Remember, she can only respect you if she knows that she can move you off center. And she knows that you are strong enough to handle anything. Because she respects you that much more. This is when the attraction starts to rebuild again. Because for the fact is, consistency is rare. But emotional independency, that is lethal. That is different. That is unique. You are harder to forget. She never broke you. She just revealed you. Never shift your identity just to keep someone interested. Right, Isaac? Let's understand one thing. Unavailable is always unforgettable. She didn't miss you because you texted back right away. When you showed up every time, Isaac, she pulled away. When you made her a priority, even when she made you an option, that was when she felt safe. Safe, not in love, Isaac. Safe in control. That is when she thought that she is actually in control. But the moment you become unavailable, that is when everything changed. You stopped responding instantly. You stopped checking in. You stopped obeying her word as if she was that much special and you were supposed to worship her. You are not a satellite desperate for a signal, and suddenly, Isaac, your absence created space. And that right there, Isaac, that is the power. You let them think they have the power. They are in control of you, only to realize they are never in control. They will never have power over you. Because here is the one thing that most men don't understand. Availability is only attractive, Isaac, when it is entirely earned. When it is too easy, it is taken for granted. But when it becomes scarce, it automatically becomes valuable, admirable. Now they want it, right? Remember, Isaac, people obsess over what they can't access. By detaching from what you can't control, You entirely control yourself, and you control your own definition of reality. That is the power. You didn't become cold, you became focused. While she was checking her phone, wondering if you will ever reach out, you were out building your own life. For the fact is, unavailability doesn't mean rude. It means selective. It means your time is actually reversed. And when you become that man, inaccessible, unreachable, and unbothered, fully grounded, suddenly, Isaac, you are not just remembered, you are unforgettable. And that is where the power is. Leveling up silently. You didn't, Isaac, make a scene. You never went online to throw a shade trying to prove that you are better off. You didn't tell the world that you were healing. You just leveled up in silence. No flex, no noise, just moves. Quiet mornings, heavy reps, deeper focus. You built yourself behind the scenes while she is watching the stories, not knowing that yours is being rewritten without hers. That is the difference. Most men try to win the breakup. They want her to see the progress, right? The change, the living better. But that is just an act. That is just a performance. And in reality, Isaac, you haven't fully, entirely moved on, but you are convincing her that you have. You have, Isaac, to become the ghost that she will never understand. The what ifs, it gets heavier over time. And that, Isaac, that is the obsession. Why? Because, Isaac, your success isn't tied to her presence. In fact, she was the spark, but you lit the fire.